I mean, she has to clinch tonight and then have what would have been, I'm sure, a fun flight home. Kind of disappointing in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. But that's the beautiful thing about baseball is we have an opportunity tomorrow to do it and come back and do it at home. So probably be better at home when we can do it in front of our fans and with our families and, not rush home, at 3 or 4 in the morning. So.
Yes, welcome in. Boston has entered the chat. Calling all playoff vibes. Welcome into the Salem 5 Studios. Boston's entered the chat. Kasey Hudson, Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. You heard it right there from Trevor's story. Didn't clinch it on the road. It'll feel sweet to clinch your playoff berth at home.
Man.
In Fenway Park.
Yes, Lord.
What have I been telling you since you moved here?
I need to feel that.
There's no playoff environment like the electric shaking of the grounds of Fenway Park
you do feel
with
the shake.
postseason baseball.
I need it.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
I hope we get it tonight. So let's get into that. It's win one and you're in.
Just
Astros lose one.
Just one.
And they're in. But that's not fun. Let's talk about the possibility of winning. Kyle Harrison against Casey Mize. You're relying on a rookie against a guy that has struggled lately for the Tigers. What's big for the Red Sox with this one, Matz is rested. They have Whitlock and Chapman rested.
Right.
Now, you have to protect your bullpen for the 3-game wildcard series. But look, you have 2 days to rest if you finish a job tonight.
Yeah.
The bullpen, while you're relying on a rookie, lines up well for tonight. And you know what? At home, you hope this team rallies around that. Casey, I want to start with you. What are you thinking for tonight for the Red Sox when it comes to winning one game and they're into the postseason?
I feel like this is where they have to answer the bell. Isn't that one of the fun cliche things we like to say in sports?
It's so simple. It's that.
It really is.
Show
as simple
up,
as that.
hit the ball, put it in play.
Use the
play
Fenway
clean
magic
defense.
that everyone likes to talk about,
That would
and
be me.
make
They
sure
get
that
a bump for playing at home. That
Exactly.
crowd gets behind them.
Yeah, and we've talked about it all season long, especially when there's been these, immense wins and victories that they've been able to pull off. It's been like, what is so special about Fenway? And you don't have to be a part of the Boston culture to know how special Fenway is. So I need them to be able to solidify that message tonight. And more importantly, you're going against Casey Mize, who's somebody who, right-handed pitcher. You've got a number of guys in your batting lineup, regardless of how much curiosity has been around the batting lineup, that should be able to have impactful performances. I'm looking at Nate Lowe, I'm looking at Nate Eaton, I'm looking at Romy Gonzalez to be some of those key factors to make sure that a message is sent from Fenway to everyone around MLB.
Fair. Here's good news and the bad news. I'll start with the good. I will be there tonight at Fenway, and I have dreams of being drunk, singing Sweet Caroline with the fans, and Dirty Water, and partying because this team clinched. That's the good news.
Yeah.
Bad news is this. Brian Bayo. What's going on? What's going on? I sat here yesterday on this very show at this very desk, and I said, this is a huge spot for Brian Bayo. He has not been pitching well lately.
Yeah.
You need one win. This is huge for you. Go to the mound, locked in, get it done. He can't. Now we're back to this 5-inning stuff. He can't get out of the 5th inning. I don't know what's going on. 3 straight losses for Bayo. So look, that's why I say good news, bad news. Good news, I do believe the Sox clinch tonight. I do believe there will be October baseball for these Red Sox. Bad news is it's Garrett Crochet and what else? I mean, Lucas Giolito is grinding out these wins. He's doing his thing. He's getting run support, thankfully. In his last start, he did. But he's grinding these out. Brian Bayo needs to be lights out this time of year, and he's not doing it. He's regressing. I have real concerns about this team once we get to the postseason, once we get to that wild card round, especially if we're going to the Bronx, which is, if it started today, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
Brian Bayo, historically, pitches well against the Yankees. Didn't look too good in his last outing against them. Hasn't looked too good lately. As I said, 3 straight losses.
September.
So I have some real concerns about this team moving forward because there is no moving forward if you don't have the big 3 locked in. We know Crochet is locked in. We see Lucas Giolito battling these starts out, grinding these wins. Brian Bayo is regressing. Can't have it this time of year.
This is something where we look at the strength of this team being that rotation. And it was where you go, I'll take their 1, 2, 3 over anybody, especially their 1, especially their ace and Garrett Crochet. The issue is that we've seen the velocity for Giolito drop off. And let's talk about last night real quick. If you want to bring up Brian Bayo in a conversation, he got out of a jam early in the game in the 3rd. Bases juiced, gets out. Awesome. His pitch count was getting up there.
It was.
6th inning, that's when the fatigue sets in. But that's a guy that's a gamer and has been a dog for them. And we saw it last season where he was good the entire season. We saw him be a pivotal guy 2nd, 3rd in this rotation. Ground ball hit by Vlad Jr., Trevor Story with another throwing error, and then we saw the mental collapse from Brian Bayo.
Yep.
Strikes out the following batter on 5 pitches. The 4 balls he threw, way out of the zone, not even close. Hit the following batter, and he gets yanked. You can't have that happen.
No.
And guess what? That's going to be really difficult in a postseason game, best of 3 series, in any rivalry in sports, let alone if it's Red Sox at Yankees in the Bronx.
This is why I brought it up.
The mental fortitude matters.
Imagine just go to imaginary world for me for a second. If he pitches last night, lights out, and the Sox clinch, think about what that does for this kid's confidence.
Right.
Instead, he's trying to figure it out right now, and he's not pitching well. And you're in a spot moving forward, assuming we get in here, where you need him. You're dependent on him. He's your number 2 guy.
I don't know if I'd say
that.
figuring it out, because it feels like there's a little bit of a theme here. You guys know you can always call me on the dramatics if it exists, but beginning of the season, Bayo's performance was here and there. But what was something else that was taking place? High errors by this Red Sox team. Things get cleaned up. Bayo starts maturing, feeling more confident, not kind of losing it on the mound there. Then over the last couple of weeks, what starts to come back into play? A number of errors. And I feel like that's where you kind of start to see a little bit of that mental, pull, that internal battle to stay in something when you're trying to find the confidence going on behind you. So could this be something playing into the situation, considering the theme and timing behind it?
So it's a regression, but not just on him, you're saying. It could be a Bayo and a
I wouldn't even call it a regression
defense.
for him, because imagine trying to mentally mature your game, but as you start getting more mature within your game, you have this confidence about the defense playing behind you. And now if some of that starts to slip, and then you've got this large weight that plays into your shoulders during certain innings, and it's all or nothing, that's a different storm to weather.
Let me point out a defense that once again is leading Major League Baseball in errors. What have we been saying, right? What have we not seen for 158 games? Small ball. What have we not seen for 158 games? Clean defense. Now, look, it was really bad in the beginning of the season. They cleaned it up midway through, but then there's that regression back towards the means of it being bad at the end of the year. And that's where everything gets magnified when it comes down to your season being win or get in, when the last 3 games of the season matters. And look, again, for the Red Sox to map out all possibilities. If they win any of these 3 games, this weekend against the Tigers are in. If the Astros lose any of their 3 games against the Angels, the Red Sox get in. But this is a team where you go through every scenario on the map. The Detroit Tigers need to win to get in themselves.
That's it.
They need to help themselves with the wild card standings. They're not the Angels. They're not the Orioles. They're not fill in the blank team that's eliminated, has no chance of getting it. They're not the Marlins, right? If the Red Sox get swept and the Astros sweep the Angels, and the Astros sweeping the Angels is a very real possibility.
Yeah, of course
Red Sox get bounced out. And so when we talk about your second, third starter in the rotation, when we talk about a clean defense, when we talk about playing small ball, all these things that is winning baseball, the Red Sox have not showcased that. But this is a team, as I do love to point out, as hard as I may be on them right now, Tristan Casas goes down with a major injury. Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony on the IL. Rafael Devers traded away. If you had those 4 guys in this lineup, along with Jarren Duran, Trevor Story, Alex Bregman, Wilyer Abreu, Carlos Narvaez, I mean, it's more than 9 names that I just named, but that's a lot of moving parts, and that's just what you want. Then on top of the pitching, Dobbins, Fitz, Crawford, Houck, none of them worked out. That's a team that has dealt with so many injuries, and they've gotten to this point, so it says they can overcome all the odds, win 1 game and you're in. But this is a team that's hanging on by a thread in certain ways. So we map out the small ball, we map out to clean up the defense. My thing is, what have you done for me lately? Or what have you done for me in a big sample size? And the big sample size says they can't do what we're asking them to. I know it just sounded so doom and gloom, but that is part of why this team has to lock in.
Expectations.
Because they can't expect to roll up to Fenway and they win. Especially with a desperate team opposite of them.
And we can't
if there's a team eliminated playing the rookies, if it was the A's, whatever, the Tigers need to win 2 games.
That's where I'm at. I don't think we can gloss over that because this is a desperate Tigers team. Remember, let's think about where they are right now. They've already choked it away. They just lost 2 out of 3 to the Guardians. So you bring up the wild card. They're still fighting for a division, too, here, okay? So there's a world in which the Tigers could be an epic choke job and not even make the postseason. So there's a sense of urgency with them, too. The Guardians handled their business. They play the Rangers to end the season. The Rangers are dead in the water already. So the Guardians are thinking, man, we're playing with house money. We just took 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. We made Scooble look human. Like, we're good. All the pressure's on this Tigers team. And I think that's important because, look, tonight and tomorrow, you are leaning on kids. You are leaning on Harrison and Early in a big, big spot for this Red Sox team. You should have, that's my point, is you should have never been in that position.
Yeah.
Brian Bayo last night absolutely fumbled a huge opportunity to put all that to bed. Now, I don't think anyone around here is sweating. I just told you. I'll be there tonight. I think they will clinch tonight. But you lose tonight, all of a sudden them sweat beads get a little bit bigger, don't they? And everyone thinks, uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So this is a huge spot for the Red Sox. Really, essentially, the playoffs start tonight at Fenway. It's just that simple.
They need to win tonight, too, because, again, you win, you get in.
You're in.
Bullpen.
Yes.
Rest.
This is a
Starting
playoff
rotation.
game.
Rest.
Yes.
Because you be Kyle Harrison and Connerly early, what we expect.
That's right.
All of a sudden, game one becomes desperation. You have to empty out the clip to get into
Yes,
the
you
postseason.
do.
You have to.
Yes.
And that's what I want to see this team do.
Yeah.
It's right in front of them. And again, with the bullpen rested, with all the guys that did not have to pitch the last 3 games.
Yeah.
And even yesterday, you have your aces, not just in a crochet way, but you have your aces in Whitlock and Chapman on the back end. You have your guys like Steve Matz rested, Greg Weisser rested. That where you go with a rookie, 24 years old to start, but you have the dogs on the back end.
That might be one of the most pivotal points to be made because we're now kind of, I feel like, all agreeing that we can't just rely on the magic of Fenway in this instance, especially tonight. But more importantly, you got to kind of have that uncomfortable feeling knowing that more than likely you're not going to have Fenway to rely on in the postseason, or at least to get things started. Where do you see this going?
Yeah, look, gut feel here. I hope Alex Cora says, you know what? I just watched the Guardians do this to this team. Let's small ball their arse to death tonight. I'm gonna go 4-3. A nail-biting, tight, playoff type atmosphere. Red Sox win dramatic fashion. What's the gut from you guys?
I'm looking at more of like a 3-2.
3-2 final.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Sox win?
Sox win.
I'm gonna.
I'll take that.
Of everything I laid out, I'll probably shock you guys. I think this will be a 8-3 Red Sox win.
What?
Mize has not been good. That lineup has not been producing, and the bullpen is rested, especially on the back end for the Red Sox. With Kyle Harrison, it's get us 4 innings. Then Matz comes in, gets you 5 to the 5th. Weisser gets in, gets you to the 6th. Right?
My thing is, when do the bats get
to the
hot
7th.
versus Mize? That's my question.
Well, that's what he's saying. I mean,
it's just Mize has not been good, and then the Tigers, their lineup has been worse and worse the further September. Like, you can look at the whole month of September, you can look at the last 3 weeks, the last 2 weeks, the last 1 week. They've gotten worse as it's gone on.
have.
And the Red
They're
Sox
choking.
have been average.
George, if you're
They have
right,
the explosiveness, but I just don't see it. Mize hasn't been good.
If your prediction's right, then that means the Guardians not only took 2 out of 3 from them, they took their heart. They took a pound of flesh from them.
Yep.
Because essentially what you're describing, if the Sox win, would you say 8-3? I mean, if they beat them down, it means the Tigers emotionally have nothing left. That's what that means. And that's possible. I just don't see that. I think this team, look, you can go wire to wire. The Tigers have been good all year, and they came in with expectations. So I think this team, in the end, has more fight than maybe we think. I would not be shocked if the Tigers hold this off a little bit and they win it tonight. But I just think in the end, I think the Sox will figure out a way to ugly this up. And this is a formula of what they do. Like, all these games that the Red Sox win lately are low scoring. Pitcher is grinding it out, not named Garrett Crochet, and you're just trying to manufacture a couple runs here or there, and you get the win. That's why I say just embrace the small ball.
Yeah.
Just play that. Play that from now through the rest of the way, however long you last.
We're talking 10 different scenarios, not really, but embellishing. But we're talking 10 different scenarios on different playoff outcomes. When your world is this big, you need to make it small.
Yes.
Don't focus on the outcome.
Yes.
Focus on the execution.
Yes.
Execution-based anxiety is the best thing to roll with, and they need to do that. And it's literally, this is what happens with it. When you got to lock in, you have to live and die by every pitch.
Yep.
Now, again, that sounds like, okay, you're overstressing it. No. When you live and die by every pitch, you focus on the next pitch.
That's right.
You're not thinking about what this team's doing there, what time the game starts in
Scoreboard
Los
watching.
Angeles. You're not doing any of that. You're focusing on the guy that's pitching at you.
Yep.
Now, you mentioned you're hoping Alex Cora is saying something, this, that.
I hope so.
Here is what Alex Cora had to say before this series this weekend.
Feels like we've asked you 100 times about how do you kind of stay one day at a time at this time of the year with a young group. Is it just kind of the same thing for the next 3 days?
100%, yeah. Tomorrow should be fun at home. Looking forward to it.
You kind of mentioned it too. You know what you have to do at home. 4-2 road trip with what you plan on having this season still right in front of you. How good does that feel?
I mean, we put ourselves in a great position. Yeah, we know what we have to, and it's going to be at Fenway Park.
Given what the Tigers have been through this month, what sort of mode do you think they'll be in tomorrow and this weekend?
Who, them?
The Tigers, yeah.
I know the moves. You know, I got family over there, so yeah, I know where they're at and I know what they need to do.
The mood of the Tigers? What you think? Panic! I mean, look, man.
Maybe they're asking about his brother. Isn't his brother a third baseman coach or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Look,
the most aggressive in the league, too.
that's why I say the playoffs really start tonight. I mean, you're going to see two desperate teams here. Now, I think the Tigers are more desperate if we're doing that. If we're slice of the pie, who's more desperate? The Tigers, because they're choking it up. But at the end of the day, the Sox, and I know Kasey rolls her eyes, but I do think being at Fenway helps. I put it this way. I would much rather these damn 3 games where we're all sweating this out together, we sweat it out together, than to be in Detroit right now for these 3 games.
Where I'll give you
That's an advantage.
Where I'll give you the Fenway touch is for Kyle Harrison.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be something that rallies behind him, because
maybe
when
early
you talk
tomorrow,
about
too.
sample size earlier, George, this is a guy who's now going to have an opportunity to say, I impressed you guys the first time I started. I impressed you guys the second time. Now I can take on more and be more reliable.
Maybe early tomorrow as well.
Two, with all this, now if I go super big picture, to have Kyle Harrison in the spot, to have Connolly early potentially in that spot tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Let's say this, for Garrett Crochet to be in this spot, for Carlos Narvaez to be in this spot, for Garrett Whitlock to be in the spot. These guys have not experienced this.
Good point.
It may not be the postseason yet.
Yep.
But as we like to go small picture versus big picture, we like to talk windows.
Yeah.
What getting into the playoffs means for Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, all these guys. A game like this is huge. And this is something we'll all be watching, and people at home won't want to hear this. But say if Kyle Harrison doesn't pull through, but he gets that exposure to failure in a high-intensity situation. I think that's important. Now I bring it back to actually talking about the game tonight, though. With everything we're listing out, it's one of those, and you always hear it, like, Game 7, just go out there and play. That's what I want to see tonight.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking like Fenway bumps, and you're certainly right. Like, Kyle Harrison, just go out and pitch, dude.
Yeah.
It's a baseball game.
Right.
It is. It's a baseball game, end of the day.
Right.
Win or lose, you're going to wake up tomorrow and everything will be the same.
Yep.
But you're at home, luckily. Familiar space. You're sleeping in your bed. You're
The
driving.
place does shake.
You'll have the crowd behind you. It's one of those things of we're listing out everything they have to do, everything they can't do, whatever. Just play baseball.
I'll be in
Small
there.
ball.
Sweet Caroline. I'll be drinking. It ain't going to be coffee like this, neither.
I hope it's a Red Sox lead when that song is playing.
Please.
That's all I'm asking. Big quick break here on Boston's End of the Chat. When we get back, we'll be talking top 10 in the NBA. Tatum not on the list. Also, Robert Kraft now opening up ownership. He didn't answer my text to buy some.
He didn't?
Shakes. You know who he didn't answer either?
Maybe the price wasn't right.
The GOAT. Not me, Tom Brady.
You give him
We'll
a
talk about
statue,
that.
but not a piece?
We'll talk about that after the break. Welcome back to Boston's End of the Chat. Stop.
We need a camera on us during commercial.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No, that'd be terrifying. Our mics should be off, camera should be off, and just
turn the lights off.
It's a good time, no matter what. Let's get into having a good time. ESPN revealed their top 10 NBA players coming into this season.
Yeah.
Coming into this season.
All right.
And the top 10 goes, I'll go 10 to 1. Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Edwards.
Yep.
Wemby, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, SGA, Nikola Jokic. No Jason Tatum on this list. This was the top 10 of their top 50 coming into the season. Guys, what do you make of this top 10? No Tatum coming to the season, coming back from a torn Achilles, fine. But you have a Victor Wembanyama, who his health future is in question too. He may be cleared, but can he play a full season? You have LeBron James, who's always been injured. You have Kevin Durant, who's long in the tooth, as my guy Travis Thomas likes to say.
Yeah.
And you have Jalen Brunson, who's a killer, a late game scorer, clutch player, but an undersized guard as well. Interesting top 10 to me.
I appreciate that you put the emphasis on that syllable of coming into the season, because when I didn't see Jason Tatum's name, and this, by the way, this list went to 50, 5-0. So I'm like, well, where's Tatum? But I get it. Coming into the season, we're presuming health and all that Tatum is not going to play despite what he says. It should be noted, Derek White, number 26 on this list, Jaylen Brown, number 19. Here's where I am with Tatum, though. I think if Tatum were healthy, I don't have a problem with the top 10. I would move Brunson one spot down, and I would insert Jason Tatum to number 10. He is a top 10 player in this league. There's no doubt about it. That would be my only beef with the list. I would change some of this top 10 that we just saw. I would change some of the orders there, but the players I don't have a problem with, and Brunson's only in because Tatum's hurt, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll tell you something. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, speaking of change, where I could play devil's advocate, but I do want to hear what you have to say first before I try to muck things up.
Where I have an issue is that you have Jaylen Brown on this list at 19.
Yeah.
Behind Jimmy Butler, behind Devin Booker. I'm sorry, who dictates a game on both ends of the floor and has an impact on it with the ball in and out of his hands?
He should be up higher.
He's a top 14. He's a top 12 NBA player. You can make the argument too.
After this season, he may be top 10 because he's going to have to carry this franchise.
It's an Evan Mobley who's ahead of him, who's never healthy. Cade Cunningham, fine. Jalen Williams, fine. But Jimmy Butler at his age,
right?
Devin Booker at his limited game and his lack of leadership. Donovan Mitchell, who's good,
but you asked us top 10.
End of the floor.
Tatum belongs in the top 10 if he's healthy.
And he's not. So I have no issue with him not being in the top.
That's right.
All right, the devil's advocacy.
I love it.
Bring it.
Jalen Brunson, too low on this list. Fans are not too happy about it. They definitely feel like he should at least be ahead of Stephen Curry. Something to consider. Also, Giannis, we're talking about coming into this upcoming season. There's still a number of question marks in anticipation of what will be because we thought he was leaving this team to begin with. So now you're going to come in and be the workhorse of this team, and then you're going to be sitting at number 4 on top of it. So is there any interest to sideline with the devil's advocacy of Antetokounmpo or Brunson being way too low?
Knicks fans are Knicks fans. I don't give a damn what they talk about. He doesn't deserve to be higher on this list. He's lucky to be at 10. Stop. Second, as far as Giannis goes, I think Giannis could be higher on the list. But again, just looking at the top 10 bodies, the top 10 dudes on this list, I don't have a problem mixing and matching however you want. But these are the top 10 players without a healthy Jason Tatum. So I don't have an issue with the 10. Okay. The order, we could argue all day about who belongs where, but these are the 10 guys without a healthy Tatum.
This is something where you look at this breakdown, healthy Tatum, I'm bumping back Wemby, I'm bumping back SGA, and I'm putting Tatum over them. He's a top 4 player. That top 3, Jokic, Doncic, Giannis, that stays the same, in my opinion, on that one. All right, let's look towards something new coming out about the Patriots. For the first time since they were purchased in 1994, Robert Kraft is opening up the team for investments. And its first investment under the 2020 blah, blah, blah. 6th Street will acquire 3% of the New England Patriots per sources. This is part of Kraft's plan to divest 8% of the franchise, so him and his family will remain 92% stakeholders, now valued at over $9 billion. So 6th Street, it overlooks it's a $1 billion investment firm, right? Get into all that minutia. They bought private stakes in the Boston Celtics under the leadership of Bill Chisholm. So this is a team that's good. Okay, they're buying into the Celtics. Now they're investing in the Patriots. Cool. Love this for Robert Kraft. You have to open up the books. You have to get more money coming in. Even though he's a very wealthy man and he's worth billions and billions and billions, he's frugal. How do you stop being frugal? Well, you make other people spend their money, not yours. How are you doing this now? And you never gave Tom Brady the opportunity to be a minority stakeholder.
And he wanted it.
Mind-boggling to me. Because now he's wearing silver and black. Now he's in Las Vegas. Now he's going to take that franchise to a serious place. And guess what? What we've learned about the Patriots since Tom Brady left, they are not a serious football operation. And you know what I think it is with this one? You know why I think he didn't allow that? It's him being cheap, the ego in the way, family-owned business. Because Robert Kraft, and Jonathan Kraft too, could not bear to have Tom Brady be a minority owner because he's more popular, he's a bigger face, he's more loved, he's well-liked than them. He would be the face of the franchise, even with a 0.5% minority owner stake. Ego, man. Strip it away. You're worth billions. Where does this ego come from? Your priority should be putting out the best football team out there and doing what's best for the franchise. But your ego gets in the way.
I think that's a great point because we talk about the dynasty and the death of a dynasty, and we always point to Belichick and Brady. But that's a good point. I mean, the ego comes from the owner as well. And this is a great point by you, a great illustration of he kind of fumbled this. Tom should be in this, and he's not. He goes to the Raiders of all damn franchises, and now you're selling stake. It's a bad look for Bob Kraft.
Yeah, and to talk further about how ego just kind of overencompassed all of this, we're living in a world where branding is everything, right? So you miss out on a huge opportunity where you almost have free branding with the face of Tom Brady and everything that comes behind what he did for this franchise. And then you also get to put more than a Band-Aid over the how did we let New England let go of this guy when he still had a little bit more in the tank. And he was already starting to pick up ownership amongst many things. So it all was a perfect fit and path and free extra branding on the most global scale possible.
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
You could say how good he was for the Bucs.
Okay,
Year one win Super Bowl MVP candidate was still Gray's second season too. When honestly, the offensive line dropped off. His play didn't jump off.
No.
He's like, I'm done getting.
That's where it shows you where the mind is. And like, I feel like you've talked about it off camera before, having one of the most brilliant minds on top of the branding for the New England Patriots, if only.
And imagine him in the coach's box helping out Josh McDaniels, helping out Drake May.
Right.
He's going to help the Raiders get back on top and get their brand back to where it is. All right, we'll take a quick break here on Boston's End of the Chat. When we're back, Alex Faust, Northeastern grad, will be calling games on the playoffs. We'll be calling the game tonight for the Sox and Tigers. He'll be joining us to preview that game and the postseason and talk some Huskies as well. We'll be right back with that after the break. Welcome back to Boston's End of the Chat. We now have Alex Faust with us. We'll be calling games for the MLB playoffs in TNT. Also a Northeastern grad. Shout out Huskies. And he'll be on the call tonight on Apple TV, calling their game between the Red Sox and the Tigers. Red Sox, one win.
One win.
And they're in. Alex, first things first, my man. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. How are we doing today?
Morning, guys. Great to be with you. It's good to be back here on Nesson.
Of course, great to have you on. We know everyone, the viewers, everyone's very familiar with your voice. It'd be cool to hear you on the call tonight and obviously throughout the postseason on TNT. Let's start with tonight. You'll be on the call. Kyle Harrison, AC Mize. Red Sox win. They're in. But the Detroit Tigers, they have their playoff lives on the line as well. What are you looking at tonight? Let's start with the pitching matchup. What will be asked of Kyle Harrison? Huge spot for the 24-year-old rookie.
Yeah, I mean, last-minute ad. We were preparing all week that it wasn't going to be Harrison there, but he gets the call here tonight. I mean, realistically, for the Red Sox, what they're trying to do, they're just trying to give themselves a chance to clinch at home in any one of these three games, because the scenario is pretty simple. The division is pretty much out of reach. Home field is a foregone conclusion. So give yourself a chance here in one of these next three. They're setting up. They already changed the rotation so that Garrett Crochet is on the right schedule with maybe an extra day of rest to go in game one of the wild card series. And we saw how brilliant he was the other night in Toronto. So realistically, all this is just give yourself a chance. That's all you can ask for. You're not asking for anything brilliant. And frankly, the Red Sox and the way that their rotation's gone over the second half of the year, it's been incredible. I have a note here, since July 1st, they have the best starting pitching ERA in the American League. And I don't think a lot of people around baseball would have expected that at any point this year, given the way the Red Sox are. And obviously, Crochet is a large part of that. But this Red Sox team has found a way, and it'll be a lot of fun to see them potentially clinch tonight at Fenway.
Yeah, find a way is a big theme for this team, and fans were a little disappointed that the ticket wasn't punched last night. But part of finding a way, Alex, is, making sure that the run support is there. And this batting lineup was kind of fractured when some of the injuries happened, and, of course, Roman Anthony going down. But what should we expect out of them tonight? Because Mize has allowed 8 runs over his last 3 starts, maybe something that they can hope that they can take advantage of and be impactful at Fenway in front of their fans tonight.
Yeah, the second half of the year hasn't been good for Mize. I mean, they had a great first half of the season, was named an all-star. He's kind of had these peaks and valleys in his career, and he's admitted that at times in his career he's struggled with confidence. This Red Sox lineup, they're, in a lot of ways, it's similar to what the Tigers have done until their most recent slide. They just put the ball in play. They're not a huge slugging team, and I know there was a topic of conversation around town, asking, did Craig Breslow do enough at the trade deadline? He didn't go out there and get an impact bat, and obviously they couldn't have foreseen that there were going to be a couple of injuries, to their lineup. But that's the one thing about this Red Sox team that gives you pause going to the postseason potentially is there isn't really that huge threat in the middle of their lineup that you have to pitch around. That said, I think there is a theme around baseball, and the Tigers have been at the forefront of it, of winning in different ways, being aggressive on the base pass, putting pressure on opposing defenses. And, of course, the Red Sox, they're an incredibly athletic team. They're tremendous defensively. That's how some of these teams are winning now, is instead of, trying to slug your way to a championship, can you do it another way? Last year, we saw with the Yankees and the Dodgers going to the World Series, 2 of the best slugging teams, obviously, that's still a way to get there. But there's a big test, I feel like, throughout baseball in both leagues of can you get there in a different way? The Brewers in the National League are at the forefront of it. The Tigers were at the forefront of it in the American League, and obviously the Red Sox are right on the cusp right now, too.
Alex, you're taking us to church this morning. Everyone on this desk has been saying the exact thing that you're saying right now, the whole season for this team. Embrace small ball. You know who's doing that? The Guardians. And look, they're hotter than fish grease right now. Alex, look, here on Boston has entered the chat. We talk Red Sox and your Huskies till we're blue in the face. I want to zoom out a little here and look at the AL playoff picture. Right now, you would have Tigers and Guardians in the wild card, Red Sox in the Bronx taking on the Yankees. You have the Mariners and the Blue Jays waiting for the winners of each. Who do you trust? I'm just asking you straight up. Who do you trust out of that grouping in the American League to get to the World Series?
Oh, I've traveled around a lot this summer and spoken to a lot of people around baseball, and I think the consensus answer is nobody. It is wide open in both leagues.
And you'll take that.
No, for sure. I mean, that's what we dream of going to the postseason. I mean, as you know, I cover hockey a lot. And every year in the Stanley Cup playoffs, you go in and you're like, okay, we have a couple of favorites, but it's wide open and anything can happen. And I think baseball, we're so used to it because for so many years the playoff format limited the number of teams that were in. Now that it's expanded, we have to change our way of thinking around how the postseason is going to play out. The best team will not always win the World Series in this format. Period. End of story. Last year, it was the best team. The Dodgers won the World Series. They were the best team. Period. But in many years, I feel like going forward, you're going to have surprises in the wild card round. You're going to have surprises in the division series as a result. And we just have to get used to that a little bit in baseball. This is not the same game that was played, a half a century ago, or even going back further, because one of the topics we're going to be talking about tonight is, is this the greatest collapse with the Tigers in baseball history? You think back to the 1951 Brooklyn Dodgers and the 13-game lead they had on the New York Giants. I mean, we're talking in that era, and there have been some big ones. The Red Sox have been involved in some of them. We're well aware. But this is where the new format is crazy, because if you didn't have this expanded wild card, you wouldn't have this, late season. Maybe a team sneaks in here. Obviously, the division's at stake in the AL Central, but there have been, like in the National League, who would have been talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and yet they might sneak their way in.
Yeah, a team that everyone is saying should be sellers. Trade for this guy, trade for that guy, and at certain points were as well. What I love that you point out with the AL is it's being wide open, and you bring up the starting pitching for the Red Sox, especially with Garrett Crochet. They have a good chance as anybody in a best-of-3 series in the wild card. Now, Alex, do you trust this Red Sox lineup? And I'm talking beyond the 1 through 3 hitters, because Duran, Story, Bregman, when they're good, they're great, especially Trevor Story. But my issue is with the 4 through 9 hitters, with Wilyer Abreu being in the lineup every day, with Carlos Narvaez being there every day. It's a team that is still hanging on by a thread. And also, to give them context and not just bag on them at the same time, Alex, they dealt with major injury after major injury after major injury, rotation, bullpen lineup, and of course trading away Rafael Devers, where this is a team that they're running on steam and they've done a lot to get to this point. But this lineup, to me, that's part of the liability of this team of producing runs, which you have to do, especially if you're going to match up with the Yankees.
See, I'm going to look at it in the opposite way.
Okay.
The fact that you get here, the fact that you're still in the hunt, the fact you can clinch it home tonight, wearing those beautiful green uniforms, by the way, which has been a great feature on Friday night, a lot of walk-off wins. The fact that you've done that facing all that adversity, I would take that team. I wouldn't want to face them in the postseason because they're battle-tested. They've been able to overcome so many challenges already because they've been through all of that. Yeah, the lineup doesn't look like what it did at the beginning of the year, but part of the reason why this team is in contention is because everybody's done just a little bit. The X factor for me is Masataka Yoshida, because what we've seen over the last week from him in Toronto, this is what the Red Sox paid for when they got this guy. And if he can produce in the middle of the lineup in the way that he has over the last week plus, I mean, then you have your answer, right? Then you have your middle of the order bat who's reliable and is going to give you a little bit of pop. Realistically, that's what it comes down to, is a guy that maybe you would not have expected, or a guy in the bottom third of your lineup doing something that's a little bit above and beyond. That's playoff baseball. Yes, you need to have your top guys produce and slug, but it's often the unexpected heroes that come to the forefront. And, we see that time and time again in the baseball playoffs.
I appreciate the fact that you mentioned that this team has been battle tested in perspective of the batting lineup per se, but taking it to pitching for just a second, the guys and I were talking a little bit earlier. Obviously, Crochet being the ace, you have a lot of confidence behind what he will do. Bello's performance as of late, maybe not really selling you on that 2 spot, but where does your trust lie if Bello is that guy game 2 when it comes to the postseason?
Boy, that's an interesting question, too, because I think behind Crochet, you're right. It looks a little bit thin in that rotation, relatively speaking. I do think the Red Sox have the luxury of these young arms who have come up and gotten some experience. Playoff baseball is very different, but between Tolle and Early, you can piggyback off a couple of guys, right? That's the way that you have to approach playoff games sometimes. The disadvantage the Red Sox have is with the structure of the schedule in the American League this year, you don't have the day off in between games 1 and 2. So let's say you get to the division series. Your rotation, you're not going to have as much flexibility there. So you got to get there, obviously. But, they will have some challenges. They're going to have a lot of younger arms back there that are just going to have to step up. That's the bottom line.
Alex, you know where I'm going. I need a prediction from you. I'm going Seattle, San Diego in the lowest rated World Series ever.
I'm sorry
one cares about.
Alex.
There's
I'm
no
sorry.
casual
Don't throw
fan.
that into the atmosphere. What are we doing here? I thought I was the cynical New Yorker.
Alex is like, I didn't wake up for this.
I thought I was a pessimist guy from Jersey, too. Like, what is this?
Sorry, I'm ever the optimist, so.
He's from Baltimore, excuse me.
You know what? I would love to see Seattle there.
Okay.
I think you have, the Yankees are peaking at the right time, which is rare for them. We've seen a lot of times where they've come into the postseason with a lot of question marks, and instead they're figuring it out on the fly.
Yeah.
This is where I would love to see. I would love to see Seattle. Okay. I would love to see Milwaukee. I want to see these teams that are different from what we've seen in the last couple of years get to a World Series. Seattle's never won one. Milwaukee hasn't won a National League pennant. They won an AL pennant back in 1982. So I just want to see something a little bit different. I would love to see a team like the Red Sox make a run. We know how magical October is at Fenway. But it also speaks to, the Red Sox have made so many mistakes, and I know we're widening out the lens a little bit, talking big picture here, but the Red Sox have made so many mistakes with how they've handled some of their star players, and they got a do-over with the ability to trade away Rafi Devers and invest in this young core. I want to see that work. I want to see a team grow around its young core. I don't want to see a team win that has been loaded up with free agents here or there. That's why Seattle is so fascinating with Cal Raleigh at the heart of it. Here's a guy who's just been a mainstay for your team. Milwaukee with all the young players that they've brought up. Cincinnati, a team that might squeak their way in because of the Mets collapse in the National League. Let's not sleep on the Reds because they could very well punch their ticket to October this weekend. Same kind of story. I want to see some of those teams win. I want to see those stories be successful. And let the ratings fall where they may. I really don't care about baseball viewership because if the product on the field is good, people are going to watch.
People are going to watch, yep.
Alex, I want to follow up on something you said about retaining stars and all of that as it pertains to the Red Sox. It sounds like you think that maybe the championship window with this team is opening now. Would you say that maybe this team's a little ahead of schedule?
Well, it's hard to say because, they haven't clinched the playoff spot yet.
Okay.
So they got to get there first. But I think you saw the wheels turning even last year, right? With Rafaela coming into his own, with Campbell getting a call up earlier this year, with Anthony bursting onto the scene this year as expected. Like, it's one thing to have the pedigree as a top prospect. It's another to deliver at the major league level. I mean, heck, Narvaez this year, who's come out of nowhere. I mean, he's a 26-year-old rookie who's been in the minors for 9 years, and the Yankees gave up on him. And he's been found money for the Red Sox, especially defensively. So, I think the teams that find ways to win by investing in their own core and seeing them grow together, those are the teams that I can get behind as a fan, even as a neutral, because there's an identity there. It's not just a team of mercenaries, and that's to take nothing away from how the Dodgers have put themselves together, because they invested heavily in their minor league organization. They've invested heavily in player development. They get all the headlines because of the millions and millions they spend with the top end talent. But they're getting all these guys, all the pitching injuries they've had, one by one. Guys are coming up from the minor leagues because they've invested in that heavily. So both things can also be true. But yeah, I enjoy seeing teams that are built from within, and you can root around a core of young guys for sure.
Alex, I love all that. And I love that you map out your neutral in all of this. It's why you do such a great job. It's why you got that game at TNT this postseason as well. It's going to be awesome to hear you and BA calling the games. But I do have to ask, you won't be neutral tonight because you went to Northeastern. You went to college down the road from Fenway. So it's not in the sense of the Red Sox, but you will be calling a game tonight on Apple TV, which is one of the pinnacles of the networks now in broadcasting games, for a team in the town you went to college to, in a church like Fenway Park. What are the emotions like for you as you prepare for this game, as you arrive to the ballpark? It's Detroit, it's Boston, two great sports cities, and I know your journey getting to this point was not easy. So what does it feel like for you to now be calling a game, a potential playoff clincher for the Red Sox in the same town you went to college, and I'm sure you spent plenty of time at that ballpark, where you were sharpening and perfecting your craft to get to this point in your career?
Told you we in church.
That's so kind of you, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we're going to call it down the middle. It's still going to be a national type broadcast, but we are. I can say right now a couple of things that we're taking a lot of care into today, because it is a national game and a potential clincher, and we know how passionate Red Sox and Tigers fans are. But locally here, I know fans are used to just turning on Nesson and hearing those same familiar voices. We are doing all the preparations to be able to cover a potential clincher in the clubhouse and having all those logistics in place. So you will see the whole celebration just as you would if the game were airing here locally on Nesson. One thing that we're doing that's a little bit different here today and kind of innovative is going to be shot on iPhone in a lot of ways. So we brought in some of the new iPhone 17 Pros, mounted them in different locations around Fenway Park, and we're going to have them available to us to show replays or cut to live. This has never been done in a live sports telecast, to have a game shot on iPhone. And we'll have a little watermark on the screen to let you know when we're doing that. But as far as personally being excited, I mean, there's nothing like doing a game at Fenway Park. The view in the press box is the best in baseball. The atmosphere is one of the best in baseball. And when it's rocking, especially late in September, it's going to be a little bit cooler by the end of the game. Get a little bit of that fall feel. I was tempted to wear like a quarter zip sweater almost like this. It's going to be 75-ish.
It's humid. It's humid in Boston right now. It's
hot,
weird.
Apparently. For you Northerners, it's hot.
I wanted to so badly. I love fall in New England, but unfortunately I can't do that. But I'm gonna try to take a walk around campus today. Nice. Because every time I'm in Boston, I try to go back to Northeastern and say hi to some of my folks there, and maybe say goodbye to Matthews Arena one last time. But it'll be a blast here tonight. And we can't wait to bring it to you. We're excited to have the call. Myself, Ryan Spilborghs, who was on that Colorado Rockies team. Remember, the Red Sox played in the World Series way back when, that Rocktober run. So Ryan Spilborghs will be on the call. And Tricia Whitaker, who covered the Tampa Bay Rays for so many years. She's going to be our sideline reporter here tonight. We've got a really great crew to bring it to you on Apple TV+.
Alex, real quick, what would 19-year-old Alex say to you right now?
You're living the dream. I am living the dream. I'm so excited to be part of this crew here tonight. Behind the camera, they are some of my best friends in this business. They've been an incredible group to work with, and I'm so excited that we get to close out our season with a huge game, the series of the weekend in baseball, here, the series of the year.
For sure. And hey, Red Sox fans are very blessed to have you on the call as you mapped it out. Sometimes you get with the national games and you may see the quality drop off, but you guys are doing the prep. The fans in this city are way too smart that they'll know. And I know we'll all know that you guys did the work, the hard work to make it happen and take care of them. And, of course, to have a guy that went to college in Boston taking care of them as well. Can't wait to hear you on the call, Alex. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. My first MLB game was at Fenway Park, so I'm excited that it all comes full circle here tonight.
Amazing. Can't wait to hear you on the call. Have a great call. Hopefully, let's all manifest it. Red Sox win. Punch your ticket in. He's Alex Faust. You'll catch him tonight on Apple TV. Catch him throughout the postseason on TNT. And one more shout-out to the Huskies of Northeastern. Eastern grad as
Let's
well.
go.
Alex, thanks for coming on the chat, my man. Have a great call tonight, brother.
Go in you. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to Boston has entered the chat. Kasey Hudson, Travis Thomas, George Balekji. Love that talk with Alex Faust.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Tonight's game.
That was great.
Great closing question, too.
It's a good aperitif
Oh,
for the weekend of sports we have.
spell
French?
it. Spell it.
You speaking French?
Merci,
All
merci.
right, there we go.
It's a good aperitif. Tonight we could see a punching ticket into the postseason.
Yeah.
Sunday we could see the Patriots get back to 500. Okay, it's not the same.
I was
not
like,
the
wait,
same.
did we leap? Was that
Tried.
leaping?
He tried.
Okay.
I respect
These
it.
two things-
The French bought him
yeah.
some like recovery there.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of a leap.
It's not the same. I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited for Saturday and
Yep.
Sunday for the Sox. I'm intrigued by Sunday.
Okay.
Because it's the Panthers. It's
Yeah.
not the sexiest matchup.
No.
But Drake May has to win a game.
Yeah.
This Patriots team has to clean up on defense.
Yep.
The 5 turnovers we saw last week, that
Cannot
cannot
happen.
happen.
Yep.
Casey, I'll start with you like we did to open up the show. Same thing, right? When you're looking at this matchup, this is a bad Panthers team coming off a big win against the Falcons. In my opinion, bad. Soft defense, one good receiver, the quarterback's not good, offensive line's not good. There's a lot I'm laying out there. But what do you think of this game when you see this matchup, what it can mean for the Patriots, and what they have to do on Sunday?
I think what this means for the Patriots is how well can they learn from their mistakes? Because we know something that I say a lot here in Boston's End of the Chat, never underestimate the underdog. They're coming in as 5.5 point underdogs, and more importantly, they're one of the top defenses, weirdly enough, when it comes to red zone percentage. They're tied with, I don't know, the Eagles by chance, 44.4%. And red zone efficiency has been an issue for this Patriots team, especially when they can't hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
So there's moments here where you just really kind of have to see how quick that they can grow, mature, develop, and stick to their script. Because if there's nothing else that I ask for in this matchup, when we talk about running the ball down your opponent's throat, this is the key to victory for this Patriots team versus this Panthers team, and that's all I'm asking for.
Who's
for
gonna
them
run
to,
it?
Well, then that's where
You
you pivot
know,
to the
like
next
who's-
question.
You're not going to like this, Antonio Gibson.
That's your pick?
He has to be the guy. If we're going to go with
Right.
and
That's the answer.
Like, I'm not. What did I say? I said you're not going to like it.
Yes, you did. You prefaced
It's like you're planning a
That's true.
vacation. You guys aren't going to like this, but we're going to the Amish country.
That's just terrible, bro. He fumbles
At least we
too.
planned the vacation. Yeah,
Fair.
no.
Not as bad as what they've seen lately. But that's what it is with this team, right? It's like it's expectation setting, it's level setting.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to have Adrian Peterson out there. I'm not saying they're going to have Jahmyr Gibbs out there.
Sure.
But they need to have a run game.
Yeah.
And to have a run game, you got to turn to a guy and say, put both hands on the ball, fall forward and get us 4 yards and a speck of dust, and let's move the chains.
I'll take it as long as they can run the freaking ball.
I'm with Casey. I just want to bring another name and enter the chat with him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Travion Henderson Show, because I hope this is finally the week that he is unleashed. And I keep telling you, it doesn't have to be carries. He just needs touches. You can throw him the ball. You can put him in the kickoff or punt return game. Get him involved in this G-damn game plan, and he'll lead you to the promised land.
Yeah.
Travion Henderson, anytime touchdown, plus 175s, my favorite bet of the weekend. Because I think Vrabel and this coaching staff is getting sick and tired of running backs fumbling the football. And the one guy who hasn't got the opportunity needs to get the ball this week. That's Travion Henderson. I like the Patriots 2016 in an ugly, stupid game.
Panthers
with
covering.
some probably, because it's 4.5, right? So there you go.
4.5, 5.5.
There you go.
Fine.
So yeah, they could cover here, but they're going to lose, and it's still going to be some turnovers. It's still going to be Drake May will give you a, oh no, here or there. The Panthers stink. It's going to be ugly. 2016, Patriots sort of grind out a win.
I don't like feeding into his gambling bank, but would I interest either of you in any sort of rush yardage for Drake May? Because I think that's probably where something's going to come into account. He was the rush leader in the previous game.
Yeah.
So I think some of that decisiveness, or hopefully design runs, as you've mentioned 105 times, can be something that can be impactful here. 25th in defense when it comes to stopping the run game. This is probably going to be their biggest vantage point.
I like that bet.
To back you up, though, like where I said, you're not going to like it. You'll like this.
Okay.
Panthers are soft on the edges.
They are.
They have 2 good interior defensive linemen. They have a rookie, and Nick Scorton starting out
That's
on
a
the
nookie.
edge. Yes, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that, his first name's Nick, starts with an N. They have him out on the edge. And he's not a good run defender yet. But guess what? He's 3 games into his career. You have to attack their weaknesses. And you know who's great on the outside and on the edge? Your boy, Travion Henderson.
Facts.
And you're right to get creative with giving him the
those
ball.
wheel routes?
He could get the touches. Exactly. Swing outs, real wheel routes, pitches, whatever. But be smart, because you have to limit his contact that he takes and give him opportunities where he gets the ball and then he gets out of bounds. That's what's going to be key.
Want to see how I reel her in?
Yeah.
Drake May, rush yards, minus 110 over 24 and a half. That feels
What?
like an easy cash out.
Yeah, how
doesn't
do I
it?
get
So
plus
I'm going
value
to
on
take
that?
I'm
Doesn't
going to
that
take the
feel-
over on that because also what they're doing is they're giving them a different type of RPOs where it's a bootleg.
Yes.
And if the pass isn't there, you then throw it in.
Take it
so
up.
that's what
Yeah.
they've been doing with him.
I love that.
I like that bet.
That's a
right.
great bet.
Yeah, I will suggest it to my friends.
I've already bet it.
Travel message.
I'm on a
them
budget.
himself.
Done.
Yeah.
Send. I'm already in.
We'll see.
Drake May over 24 and a half rush yards and Travion Henderson anytime touchdowns. Those are the
Super
plays.
quick. Who wins Sunday?
I think the Patriots take it. I see something kind of like a 26,
Ooh.
17, 20 kind
Oh,
of thing.
kind
Yeah.
of convincing.
Yeah, because my
All right.
biggest thing is like polishing up the secondary, polishing being the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you have two different guys here. Tet, who had a big wide
Right.
receiving game 2 weeks ago, and then if you can stop Hubbard from running
Yeah.
the ball down your throat. But I trust this run-stop defense more than I do the secondary at the moment.
You get Gonzalez back.
We'll see what his pitch count's
Allegedly.
looking like.
Yeah.
You like Patriots? You said 2016.
2016.
My last Patriots prediction, I'll go 28-13.
Ooh. Wow.
I like the Pats big. I don't
Little
like Bryce
offense.
Young, especially against this D-line. If they get Gonzalez back, the secondary did look good. The defense played well. I'm not a believer in the Panthers.
Okay.
So I'll go 28-13. So that's what we'll see for the Patriots
right.
this Sunday.
right.
This is hour 1 of Boston's entered the chat. We'll see you guys hour 2 on Nesson Nation. You always know where to catch us, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nesson, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Nesson Nation. Also, this was my last episode here on Boston has entered the chat. Not a change I expected, but something I'm excited for when it comes to the next chapter of my life. I want to shout out the crew that puts these shows together. Ethan Ristadulu, Brandon Wiedekin, Ante Campbell, Trevor Flame, Travis Thomas, Kasey Hudson, Greg Poth, Jenny Aruda, Toby, Liam, our guy Kyle, who does behind the camera. The hardworking team here at Nesson. My 4 years here at the Blue Ticket were some of the most rewarding of my life. I moved to Boston, in a city I never expected to live, but worked at a network I grew up dreaming of. I met my wife out here. I put roots here. I'm not going anywhere. Even though I'm from Jersey, I live in Wakefield now, so I'm a local, guys. You guys are stuck with me,
You're a
unfortunately.
Bostonian.
Thank you for everything you guys have done. Thank you to everyone behind the camera. Thank you to this guy. It's not easy to wake up every morning at 5 a.m. It's really hard to work with anyone every day of the week. He's my brother, my best friend. I love him so much, so thank you for everything, everyone.
Thank you, brother.